Seriously, way to just throw me off guard. I'm dead serious.
I mean, that's what I do every day.
No, you literally threw me a huge freaking curveball.
Oh, good. Okay.
Those pictures of Tim. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know. I should. If you did not listen to last episode, we talked about heartbreak and loss and all of that, and oh my God, the broken heart syndrome and stuff like that. But man, oh man, yeah, my ex, I'm still brokenhearted.
Why do you still have those pictures? Like, were those in your vault on your computer?
Yeah,
or
they're
those...
archived. I had to find them. I didn't even know where they were, but I wanted to show you. I know. Isn't he just like, oh, he's so beautiful. I don't even really know what he looks like now, though. I mean, that was in 2001.
That was in 2001.
I
yeah.
know. I've seen him since then. I've slept with him multiple times since then. But he actually broke. Oh, I totally forgot this part of the story. He literally, like, after all this time had passed and everything had happened when I went and I married that dude and got divorced, broke his heart right back, blah, blah, blah. We kept, like, attempting to try to kind of sort of get back together and ended up just getting, like, drinking too much wine and having sex. And then one time he came over to my home and I lived in Orange and what have you. And he was like, all right, let's get married. And I was like, excuse me? I called my mom, like it was a whole thing, and then never heard from him again.
He just ghosted.
He ghosted me.
That's actually an achievement award right there.
Oh
that's a trophy.
God. Totally
that's a huge
So
ghost.
the ball is now in my court to heartbreak him back? No. I'm going to talk about you on a podcast, and I'm going to elevate the fact that I love you, and I always will.
Wow, you just kind of gave him power, low-key.
God damn it. I did it again.
You kind of just gave him power. Oh, my gosh.
Son of a bitch, Lyndsay Marie. This is your Almost There podcast. Okay, well, obviously I need some tips for mending a broken heart.
Yes, you do. Folks, welcome. This is your Almost Bare podcast where we talk about real life stories on sex, love, health, and all the dirty secrets in between.
Yes, we fucking do.
How does one mend a broken heart? I know we talked about brokenheartedness on our last episode, just, how to deal with it. What's it like to be brokenhearted? I know, like, once in our life, at least one of us has been brokenhearted. I think all of us have, honestly. I don't think if you haven't been brokenhearted, you...
Bite me.
Yeah, either that or you're probably 2 years old. Reason why I say 2 years old, because I realized I actually suffered brokenheartedness as a kid.
Sure.
Dealing with trauma as a kid, dealing with a dysfunctional mother-father dynamic. And I remember all this stuff, And I think when we think of brokenhearted, well, I do anyway. I don't know if I can speak for everybody. But when I think of brokenheartedness, I immediately think of relationships.
Well, yeah. I mean, but
like romantic, sorry.
Sure. Yeah, because, I mean, I totally understand that. Talk about childhood trauma. We've talked about my rape situation, right? So, which, of course, I keep saying rape situation, and I still haven't renamed that, but that's what we're going with. That's childhood trauma. My parents got divorced when I was a little over 2 years old, and he was a piece of shit for my whole life. And then, that's dysfunction. And then you've got your dysfunction. That's brokenheartedness. And if you are raised in that kind of dysfunction, that dysfunction can carry through to your romantic relationships, right?
Yeah. And I mean, again, I only had one. This is speaking again from John Ramirez's side here, but I it's affected the way I've seen myself my entire life up until now at 27.
Yeah,
my self-esteem took a huge hit as a kid. I thought I was, and I'm not exaggerating here, folks. I really believed I was a piece of shit up until I was like 21, 22, maybe even 23.
Yeah, self-esteeming.
Self-esteeming. Just I was a glob, meaning I was overweight. I didn't care about myself. McDonald's every day because I worked there.
Ew.
Yeah, we discussed all this, but we're going to get into detail and in depth. Yes, I nailed that. About healing.
For the win.
For the win. That was fantastic. And had a grief.
Grieve.
Grieve. Damn it.
God damn it.
I was there.
It's not griefing. It's grieving.
Grieving. And had to grieve your heart. Is that right?
I'm also a full-time English teacher over here.
Yes. Fun fact about Lyndsay, she actually was going to go study on the other side of the world.
I was.
To teach English as a foreign language.
I was in Florence, Italy, actually.
Well, she gave that up. Now she's teaching me all this English.
The only
here.
reason I gave it up is because I had a heart attack and I had a heart surgery, and all of my money that I had saved for my flat in Florence and my opera troupe and the dogs and everything went right down the toilet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so talk about broken hearts.
I'm telling you, we both have heart problems. I still have heart palpitations. I know you shared your story about.
Yeah, so you were worried today about, you're like, hey, I'm still having these heart palpitations. Some of it is just hanging around me. I mean, I get it. No.
I mean, we're dealing with a lot of healing on this show. I'm telling you right now.
I know. No, but so after my surgery, my doctors at least explained to me that your body is getting used to a new heartbeat, because for your whole life since you were a baby, my whole life since I was a baby, since we were born with this Wolff-Parkinson's-White syndrome, that it makes your heart beat a certain way and your body gets used to it. And now that it's fixed, it's like, well, oh my God, it's beating differently. It might not be a palpitation, that it might be the right kind of palpitation, right? Which is how your heart's supposed to feel. But when you're not used to that, you're like, oh God. And I remember having, I think it was about a year until I finally kind of my body got used to it and I wasn't scared anymore. And I mean, you obviously have did they put you on quarterly heart checkups?
I don't really know yet.
Okay, well, you need to know that, because I'm annually now, but in the beginning I was once a month, and then I was quarterly, and then I was twice a year, and then, and now I'm at the 11-year mark. So,
and I'm so down to go once a month, because again,
you need to for a certain amount of time. Yeah, just to, if anything, because you've got a busy brain like me, you're overthinking, and obviously both of us think with the heart, or
of course,
feel with the heart, act with our heart, like we talked about in our last episode. But so from a broken heart perspective, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, and funny way that we're talking about, like, again, the physical stuff, but we're going to transition more on like the healing stuff again.
Yeah.
Because again, we talk about, and why do we relate to myself and Lyndsay relate to our physical heart situations, because it's such a great metaphor into what we deal with every single day in our healing that we actually truly need from just, I'm sorry to say this, but just the shit in our life that we went through or are even going through. And how do we deal with it? How do we cope? Like, what are our coping mechanisms? What are our coping? What are?
Oh my God! Change the station immediately, guys.
Damn.
I mean, psych. Don't do that.
I'm so sorry. What are our coping mechanisms? What do we do? Myself and Lyndsay.
Drink.
Yes, I wasn't gonna go there, but yes,
we drink. We smoke pot. Next,
I was gonna go with, we're both only children. We're both only childs. We don't have.
Oh yeah.
We don't have
siblings.
We don't have siblings, and I've noticed a lot of the times, like when I see my friends who have like 2 or 3 siblings, or even my wife who has 1 sibling, there's that dynamic of they lean on each other. And I've been very grateful. I haven't met a friend yet that they hate their sibling.
Sure.
Meaning like, they just don't talk to them. They don't really hang out. They lean on their siblings. With myself, I have always leaned on my friends to cope with stuff. But I remember when I was going through heartbreak, or when we're going through healing, that I don't know why I just never went to them. I never really did, but I'll go to them for like stupid shit like, hey dude, I don't know what game to get, or hey, what should I order today? Or I'll tag them on stupid stuff on Facebook or on Instagram.
Should
or whatever.
I or should I not buy this unicorn t-shirt?
Yeah, totally.
Could you lean more on them for those decisions?
Yes, totally.
Should I show up at Lyndsay's house in Birkenstocks? The answer is fucking no.
Yes, I really talk to them stuff about useless shit like that. But when it comes to stuff with relationship stuff, or even, stuff that, I don't know, is like really deep heart and is really like, I need help on this. I don't know why I have a hard time coughing up in that situation. But yet I'll look at, my friends in return, and they'll come to me for stuff like that as well. They'll come to me, like my friend came to me one of these days, was like, hey, there's this girl that I've liked, since so-and-so, I think it was like since high school. And like, obviously he's in a relationship, and he's like, and I kissed her. What do I do? And this is literally what just happened, like, honestly, like last month. And I'm like, I would have never come to you for this, and that's what I never told him that. But if he's listening, shout out. If he's listening, I mean, hey,
what's up, Chad, or whatever your name is. We'll call him Chad. We're gonna call him Chad. What's up, Chad?
It's like I'm quick to respond that way, but I'm never quick to respond of like, hey, this is what I'm going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know what really. I'm still trying to figure out what actually is my true coping mechanism, and I think I've come down to this: I ignore it.
Yeah, you do.
I ignore it.
I agree with that.
I leave it there. I just leave it there. And when it comes to a head, it comes to a head. I'm like, well, I guess we're dealing with it right now, I guess.
Well, and,
you know what I mean?
that kind of aligns with the fact that you've discussed on our show and with me offline, of course, about anger. And I didn't ever think that I was an angry person at all until the past, like, I don't know, year, 2 years or something like that, that I did just what you're saying. And, you know, I've got 15 years or so on you, 12, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's pretty close.
I mean, close enough. We are not mathematicians, lawyers, or psychologists here. We've said it. We're going to.
But we are English teachers. One of us is. The other
Certainly
one is
not John.
The other one is the student.
Oh my God, help me get through this life, dear Lord. So I freaking I have anger issues, and I'm taking them out. I've taken them out on myself, which is really interesting, because I beat myself up all the time. I always have to be on point, and as soon as I stopped doing that, I have started to slack a little bit, where I'm at this place where I think that this is how most people deal with their life, at this like kind of slack, lackadaisical kind of place where I'm always like, I got to be 130% all the time. And I'm like, whoa, this is how normal people live. Like, I don't feel, I'm actually angry that normal people act like this, that are acting like me. So I'm like, oh God, I don't know how to deal with anger. And when it comes to being brokenhearted, and when it comes to all the stuff that happens to us in our lives, I have got to figure out different coping mechanisms to get through the things that I'm being faced with. I mean, I've got one of my best friends is in the middle of a divorce, and I'm trying to support that person through this, and it's taking a total toll on me because I'm allowing it to, and that's on me. I'm taking on much more than I should, and instead of doing shit that I need to take care of, I'm fucking taking care of this person, and I'm doing it over and over again, because that actually makes my heart feel good, and it makes me feel like I'm healing my heart. But actually what it's doing is it's breaking my heart over and over again. Does that make any sense to you?
Completely, because what you're basically
I feel like I'm fucking going crazy over here. Jesus God. Lyndsay is going to thefunnyfarm.com.
Wow.
I know.
No, what I was going to say was, you're talking about all that, but you're avoiding conflict. You're avoiding to confront your feelings.
And of all people, obviously I'm somebody that can. I don't like conflict at all, but I'm the person that I guess is causing some conflict.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm causing conflict.
Yes. Yes, so you're causing conflict in your life, but but you're not really like confronting it, if that makes sense.
Oh my God.
Are you writing this down?
I am.
Wow. Welcome to therapy, folks. This is therapy. So we found it. We found English teacher Lyndsay.
Therapy ever.
Yes, English teacher Lyndsay, therapist John over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
You make way more money than me. Which is not true.
Not true at all.
I mean, at the rate I'm going, you are going to be making more money than me. Because I'm mending everybody else's broken hearts but myself.
One thing my therapist talked to me about, and I'm going to get kind of serious here just for a second.
Yeah,
is
please
that
do.
You're fine. No, totally. And this doesn't come from me. I'm not going to say, but I remember him telling me this. He said that trauma in your life, John, it generated emotions. Mm-hmm. And unless you process like those emotions at the time where the trauma occurs, they just they ultimately just become stuck in your mind and body.
They manifest in your body. They just
manifest there. So if you don't confront them, basically, if you don't like acknowledge them, if you just see them, be like, oh hey, what's up, and just walk on by, it's gonna stick to you. Because when we don't process certain emotions, whether that be, again, I hate to say it, but like your rape incident, or like for me with my incident with the girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, or just my family just being, dysfunctional. If I don't, and I realize I've never confronted them, because I was like, why would I confront it? I was like, 17, I was, 12 years old. But as an adult, they've manifested to these feelings of anger, mm-hmm. of fear of being alone, fear of shame, and just fear in general, like fear to move on with my life, fear to not give up certain things. And the coping mechanism that I've always had as a kid, I think I mentioned it, was video gaming. That was my coping mechanism, because that was the only place where I could meet with other people or talk to other people.
Well, and chronic masturbation.
Forgot about that. Chronic masturbation. Those are the only two things.
Mine was sex.
Yeah.
Mine was sex.
And that's being real.
Straight up.
Straight up. Chronic masturbation, because I did it like 4 or 5 times a day. If you think that's fucking normal, people, it's not. I'm sorry. No, I'm told to stop cussing. But if you really think that's like normal,
nobody's telling you to.
Suggesting.
It's just a suggestion.
Okay, just a suggestion.
Because that's my bag.
Okay.
You're supposed to be this religious sweet boy, and I'm supposed to be the pain in the ass motherfucker.
Well, you know, even religious people, you know, I'm pretty sure Jesus cussed
But
a
let's
little
just
bit.
say this. Lyndsay literally prayed with you at lunch today.
You did. You
so
did.
There you
It's
go.
funny. We're rubbing off on each other. The good stuff. Stop it, people. Stop it.
We're rubbing.
Yeah, stop it. And that's, I think, the biggest part of my own life is that I never confronted my feelings. You know, when it come to all the stuff we talk about, you know, sex. I was